The emergency session of the Galactic Council had never convened so quickly. 47 species. 300 delegates. One singular, terrifying topic. High Chancellor Zyrex of the Valorian Ascendancy stood at the center of the great crystalline chamber, his four luminescent eyes sweeping across the gathered representatives. His chitinous hands trembled, not from age, not from illness, but from something far older and far more primal. Fear. The motion before this council, Zyrex announced, his translator implant converting the clicks and resonant tones of his native tongue into the galactic common, is the formal designation of human space as a forbidden zone. Class Omega. No vessel. No probe. No signal. He paused. No exceptions. The chamber erupted. Delegates from the Sorvian collective chirped in protest. The aquatic representatives of Lethis Prime rippled their bioluminescent fins in alarm. Even the ancient, slow-speaking Getheri elders, who had witnessed the rise and fall of 14 civilizations, stirred uncomfortably in their fluid tanks. You cannot simply forbid an entire species' territory. Ambassador Krill of the Sorvians shrieked. We have trade routes through that quadrant. We have. You had trade routes, Zyrex corrected quietly. The chamber fell silent. The High Chancellor activated the central holographic display. What appeared was not a map. Not a tactical diagram. It was footage. Raw, unedited, retrieved at great cost by a Valorian observation drone that had barely escaped with its memory core intact. It showed a battlefield. 6 months earlier, at the edge of the Kepler Drift, a Dominion warfleet of the Kreth Empire, 42 vessels, the most powerful war machine the galaxy had produced in 2 centuries, had decided to test humanity's borders. The Kreth had absorbed 12 civilizations. They did not negotiate. They did not warn. They simply arrived and consumed. Commander Darian Voss had been on patrol with 7 ships when the Kreth fleet dropped out of FTL. 7 human vessels. 42 Kreth warships. The Kreth admiral had opened a channel, expecting the usual sequence: panic, pleading, eventual surrender. It was how these things went. It was the natural order. What he received instead was a yawn. Not metaphorical. Literal. Commander Darian Voss appeared on the viewscreen mid-yawn, coffee mug in hand, dark eyes carrying the particular flat calm of a person who has simply stopped being afraid of things that can kill them. You're in human space, Voss said, setting the mug down. You have about 4 minutes to turn around. The Kreth admiral laughed, a sound like grinding bone. You have 7 ships. Yeah. Voss nodded slowly. I know. We have 42. I can count. Voss glanced off-screen. Helm, orientate us toward their command vessel. Tactical, full weapons free on my mark. Communications, get me fleet command, tell them we've got a situation and we'll need cleanup crews afterward. Afterward, the Kreth admiral snarled. You are outnumbered 6 to 1. Sir, said someone off-screen, they're targeting us. Yes, said Voss. They are. Mark. The footage lasted 11 minutes. The Galactic Council watched in complete silence. No one spoke as 7 human vessels moved through a formation of 42 like something living, like something that had been waiting for this, like something that enjoyed it. The humans did not maintain defensive lines. They did not follow tactical doctrines that any species in the galaxy would recognize. They pushed forward, always forward, absorbing damage that should have crippled them and returning fire with a ferocity that seemed disproportionate to their numbers. 3 Kreth warships fell in the first 90 seconds. Not disabled. Not boarded. Destroyed. Gutted from the inside by weapons that seemed designed specifically to maximize catastrophic reactor failure. The Kreth fleet adapted. They closed ranks, tried to surround the human ships, attempted the convergence maneuver that had broken 100 enemy formations. Voss flew his ship directly through the center of it. They're ramming, someone gasped in the council chamber. They weren't ramming. The human ship cut through the Kreth formation like a blade, trailing fire, shields screaming, hull alarms blaring, and kept going, pivoting on its axis in a maneuver that should have torn the vessel apart, and opened fire on the Kreth formation from inside. 4 more ships gone. The remaining Kreth vessels broke formation. They scattered. The fleet that had absorbed 12 civilizations, that had never once retreated in recorded history, scattered, and Darien Voss's 7 ships hunted them through the Kepler drift for the next 9 minutes with the patient, methodical focus of people who had nowhere else to be. 31 Kreth warships destroyed. 11 fled into FTL. 7 human ships, damaged, trailing debris, still moving. The footage ended. High Chancellor Zyrex let the silence breathe for a long moment. What you have witnessed, he said at last, was not an exceptional engagement. Our intelligence confirms this is not a unique outcome. 17 separate border incursions into human space over the past decade have resulted in similar conclusions. He pulled up a data chart. Species attempting to colonize human-claimed worlds, 8. Species that successfully colonized human-claimed worlds, 0. They are simply powerful? Ambassador Krill asked, though the words came out uncertain, as if he already sensed that powerful was not quite the right word. No. Zyrex folded his hands. Many species are powerful. The Kreth were powerful. The Harvan hegemony was powerful before humanity encountered them. Power is not what frightens this council. He brought up a new display. Not footage this time. Text. Translations. Communications intercepted from human military channels during various engagements. I need you to hold that line. We hold it. They've taken out our engines. Then we fight without engines. Commander, survival probability is at 11%. Then we make the most of the 11%. What frightens this council, Zyrex said quietly, is not their weapons. It is not their ships, their strategy, their adaptability, though all of these things are extraordinary. What frightens this council is something we have no category for. He paused. They do not have a threshold. The Getheri elder stirred. Explain. Every species has a threshold. A point at which the calculus of survival overrides the instinct to fight. When losses reach a certain level, retreat becomes rational. When victory becomes statistically impossible, surrender becomes logical. Every species, in every war, in every conflict this council has ever recorded, every species has a threshold. Zyrex's luminescent eyes moved slowly across the chamber. Humans do not. Silence. We have observed them fight at 10-to-1 odds. 20-to-1. We have observed a single human vessel hold a choke point for 11 hours against a sustained assault that destroyed it 4 times over. They kept repairing it, kept returning to the same position, kept firing, until the attacking force simply left. He let that settle. We do not know if this is courage. We do not know if this is madness. We are not certain there is a difference. Ambassador Krill was very quiet now. 17 incursions, Zyrex continued. 17 defeats. In most cases, the humans did not pursue the retreating forces. They returned to their space. They repaired their ships. They went home. He looked at the chamber. They are not expansionist. They are not aggressive by nature. They simply will not, cannot, it seems, be moved from what they consider theirs. He closed the display. The motion is not a punishment. It is not a condemnation. It is, in the bluntest possible terms, a survival recommendation. Human space is to be marked forbidden not because humanity is monstrous, but because engaging with them militarily is not a war. It is not a conquest. It is not even a battle. He looked at the gathered delegates of 47 species. It is a guarantee of destruction. Theirs or ours. and they have made it abundantly clear which outcome they prefer. The vote was unanimous. Human space was declared forbidden. Class Omega. No vessel. No probe. No signal. 3 weeks later, Commander Darian Voss received the official Galactic Council notification aboard his ship. He read it once. He read it twice. He set it aside, picked up his coffee, and looked out at the stars. His comms officer leaned over. "Sir? The whole galaxy just fenced us off." Voss sipped his coffee. "Good," he said. "Means they're paying attention." He pulled up the next patrol route. There was a border to keep. There was always a border to keep. And the galaxy, for the first time in a very long time, quietly agreed to leave it alone.